Dorsey's Music World. They're singing in history and musical literacy. Mr. Dorsey's Music World. We're living the dream starts here.
Hi, and welcome to Mr. Dorsey's Music World, 5th grade music lesson number 2. What are we going to do today? Let's find out. We're going to be working on 5 activities today. We're going to do a warm-up solfege song called the Night Herding Song, which is an old cowboy song from the western United States. We're going to do a round from Australia called Kookaburra. We're going to do an African-American civil rights song called Free at Last. We're going to do a Move It using the music of Beethoven. And then we're going to do 2 music literacy activities using dotted quarter note and 8th note rhythms. We're going to do a song from the western United States. It's a cowboy song. It's called the Night Herding Song. And echo after me. Oh, say little doggies, quit roving around. You've wandered and trampled all over the ground. Oh, graze along, doggies, and move kind of slow. And don't be forever so much on the go. Now I'm going to sing it and you echo it. Oh, say little doggies, quit roving around. You've wandered and trampled all over the ground. Oh, graze along, doggies, and move kind of slow. And don't be forever so much on the go. Okay, and now let's sing it all together. I'll put the lyrics up so you can see it. Oh, say little doggies, quit roving around. You've wandered and trampled all over the ground. Oh, graze along, doggies, and move kind of slow. And don't be forever so much on the go. Kookaburra sits in an old gum tree. 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 Kookaburra laugh, Kookaburra great, your life Kookaburra laugh, Kookaburra great, your life must be. I'm going to do a folk song around from the continent and country, they're both, Australia, called Kookaburra. Kookaburra is a bird that lives in Australia. Echo after me. Kookaburra sits in an old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Laugh, Kookaburra. Laugh, Kookaburra. Great your life must be. Now I'm going to sing it and you echo it. Kookaburra sits in an old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Laugh, Kookaburra, laugh, Kookaburra. Great your life must be. Okay, now we're going to sing it all together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready and sing. Kookaburra sits in an old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bushes. He laugh, Kookaburra laugh. Kookaburra great your life must be. Okay, so how do I do a round when I'm all by myself, Mr. Dorsey? Well, I'm going to put on the video I showed at the very beginning where I demonstrated Kookaburra. And what you should do is you should watch that video once and then go back and try to sing with each person each time. So the first time, sing with Mr. Dorsey on the upper left-hand corner. Second time, try a different Mr. Dorsey and see if... And the more you get comfortable with it, where you can sing the song and listen to the other parts and not get distracted and be in pitch, then you got it. All right? Let's try it. Kookaburra sits in an old gum tree. 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 Kookaburra laughs. Kookaburra great your life must be. Kookaburra great your life must be.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Surely been buked and surely been scorned. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. But still my soul is heaven born. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. If you don't know that I've been redeemed, thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Just follow me down to Jordan Stream. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last.
Okay, echo after me. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Surely been buked and surely been scorned. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. But still my soul is heaven born. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. If you don't know that I've been redeemed, thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Just follow me down to Jordan Stream. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last. free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. All right, let's try it all together. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Surely been buked and surely been scorned. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. But still my soul is heaven born. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. If you don't know that I've been redeemed, thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Just follow me down to Jordan Stream. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. It's time to move it, move it. Mr. Dorsey's Music World Literacy Lesson. We're We're going to be doing 2 activities in music literacy today. We're going to repeat the activity we did in lesson 1, which was reading and echoing and identifying dotted quarter note, eighth note rhythms. And then we're going to do an improv activity. Improv is when you create something on the spot without a lot of planning out. So we're going to have some fun with that. Okay, so now we're going to read through these 8 patterns. And then we're going to go back and name the symbols afterwards. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to leave 4 beats of space after each symbol. So if you're not comfortable reading it yet, you can listen to me do it once and then echo it in the empty 4 beats. Here we go. Ready and go. Cinco patatita. Cinco patatati. Cinco patatitati. Ta ti ta ti ta. Cinco pata. Cinco pata. Ta ti ta. Ta ti takatiki ta. Now we're going to go back and look at each pattern and name the symbols. So here we go. First pattern is syncopa, eighth note, quarter note, eighth note, followed by 2 eighth notes and a quarter note. Next pattern, syncopa again, eighth note, eighth note, followed by a quarter note and 2 eighth notes. Third pattern, syncopa, eighth note, eighth note, followed by 2 eighth notes and 2 eighth notes. Next pattern, dotted quarter note, eighth note, 2 eighth notes, quarter note. Next pattern, syncopa, eighth note, eighth note, followed by a half note. Next pattern, syncopa, eighth note, eighth note, quarter note, quarter rest. Next pattern, dotted quarter note, eighth note, quarter rest. Last pattern, dotted quarter note, eighth note, 4/16 notes, quarter note. I'm going to use my cajon drum here, and we're going to start with an echo activity. I'm going to play a rhythm. I'm going to say a rhythm, and you echo it back to me, all right? Ta, 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 ti, ta. Cinco pata. Cinco patatita. Ta ti ta ta. Ta ti ta ti ta. Ta ti ta ta. Takatiki ta, takatiki ta. Cinco pata. Ta ti ta ti. Ta ti takatiki ta. Ta ti ta ti ta. Okay, so now we're going to improvise. So remember, improvising is when you say something different from me. I mean, that's not exactly what improvising means, but that's how we do it. Improvising is when you create something without thinking it out or writing it down in advance. So I'm going to say some of the same rhythms again. I was improvising the first time. I didn't plan those out. I was just saying them as I was thinking of them. And so now I want you to do the same. So I will say some rhythms and you can try and say something different back to me. Okay? ta, ti, ta. Ta, ti, taka, tiki, ta. Ta, ti, ta, ti, ta, ti. Cinco, pa, taka, tiki, ta. Ta, ti, ta, ta, ti, ta. Ta, ti, ta, ti. Ta, ti, ta, ti, ta, ti. Ta, ti, ta, ta, ti, ta. Okay, boys and girls, parents and guardians, we made it through another lesson, lesson 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go back and watch it as many times as you need to be able to sing the songs and do the activities well. Remember to like and subscribe, because that's what we're supposed to say as social media type people and whatnot. Anyways, and put comments below if you like, if there's something you liked, if there's something you want to see that I'm not showing you right now, go right ahead. I'm open to a lot at this point. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Mr. Dorsey's Music World. They're singing in history and musical literacy. Mr. Dorsey's Music World. We're living